Hello and welcome to the year's first edition of CU Sports Mag, Buff fans. I'm Joey Prechtel.
And I'm Jenna Chatillon. It's been a long summer without your Sports Mag fix, and I know we are all excited for the new year. Joey, how was your summer?
You know, my last couple months have actually been pretty awful, Jenna. I haven't been able to get my Buffs fixed since May.
Well, lucky for you, that's about to change.
It is, Jenna. Now let's let Joe Paris catch us up on what happened last year.
Hey, all you lovely people. It's a brand new year of Sports Mag, and that means a brand new year of me pretending like I know what I'm talking about on the show. Only kidding. Before we enter the new year with our new hopes of a better football team to maybe win one more game, let's recap what happened last year in CU athletics. First was the beginning of the Mike McIntyre era of CU football. Despite a 4-8 record, we might have found a quarterback in Sefo Lufau. We'll just have to see on that one. The 4 wins, though, were a nice improvement from 2012's lone victory. In basketball, though, we had the farewell tour for our next NBA star, Spencer Dinwiddie. That was full of surprises, including him tearing his ACL midseason. Wasn't that wonderful? Even more exciting, the Buffs had a half-court buzzer beater victory against Kansas. The whole season as, a collective was meh, though we did make it to the tournament. But CU athletics isn't lackluster all across the board. We were actually really good at some other sports. For example, our men's lacrosse team, led by Coach John Galvin, marched their way through the MCLA playoffs in Los Angeles this summer on their way to a national championship. I was lucky enough to be with the team in LA through their magical run, and they're probably sick of seeing me around team facilities, but I choose to consider myself a lucky charm. They were really good, but they couldn't have done it without me. Mic drop, that's all you need to know about everything. Another Inception, that's my sound off. We messed up the script. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Joe. The Buffaloes opened their season by meeting the CSU Rams in the Rocky Mountain Showdown.
Last year, the Buffs took home the trophy and were looking to defend their crown. Could they pull it off, Jenna?
Well, here we are at the CSU game. There's Ralphie looking good, ready to storm the field. Buffs preparing for a touchdown. That was a fun part of the game. Take it away. Here are those fans getting turned up. Look at them having some fun.
All right, and here we have Sefo Lufau dropping back to pass, and he connects with Dede Goodson for a big gain across the middle. Getting those yak, breaking one tackle, finally brought down by the Rams. Then we have Treyas Gerald for a solid gain up the middle. We have D. Hart running for a big gain. And then we have Treyas Gerald again trying to find some running room, but the Buffaloes defense right there to stuff him. And then we go away to Will Oliver connecting on the chip shot field goal. And then right before, we have D. Hart running and Addison Gillum there to clean it up. Let's take a look at that box score.
Despite taking the lead heading into the half, the Buffs couldn't hold on and lost 31-17. We can see Michael Atkins had 16 carries, 68 yards to Hart, 22 carries, 139 yards. Sefo Lufau had 241 yards, 2 touchdowns. Garrett Grayson, 134 yards, 1 touchdown.
The loss was a rough way to start the season.
Certainly wasn't what Coach Mack and his team had in mind. They had to recover quickly as they traveled to Foxborough, Massachusetts to play the UMass Minutemen the following Saturday. Joey, tell us how that went.
Well, here we have the Buffaloes storming onto the field. Coach Mack leading the way. We have Sefo Lufau connecting with Nelson Spruce, junior receiver, gets both feet in. And then we have Fronaffle trying to find someone, but Addison Gillum is right there to just bring him down for the sack. And then we go back to Colorado's offense. Tony Jones finding his way through the middle, scores the touchdown, celebrates with his teammates. Then we have another Buffalo score here. Sefo Lufau finding Nelson Spruce for that quick little out. And then, Buffalo's getting tricky. The cameraman even got lost, but Christian Powell pummels his way into the end zone for another Buffalo touchdown. But that's not all. Sefo Lufau runs out of the pocket and connects with Nelson Spruce for a deep pass along the sideline. What a perfect throw. Nelson runs it the rest of the way in, and the Buffaloes would never look back from there. Now let's take a look at that box score. You have Colorado with 41, Atop UMass 38, Cephalufau finished with 318 yards with 3 touchdowns. Blake Frohnapfel had 267 yards and 3 touchdowns. Then Christian Powell had 19 carries for 80 yards, and Jamal Wilson with 10 carries for 47 yards.
The win gave the team some much-needed momentum to take into this week's game against number 17 Arizona State. Head coach Mike McIntyre remarked on the change this week's press conference.
The run up a lot better this week, this past week at that game. And, I've seen glimpses of really good things. I've seen glimpses of really tough things. We're really young on defense. And watching those guys kind of come in their own in the second half was good to see.
Even after adding a W to the win column, the excitement can't last long. They've got a tough game to prepare for this Saturday against Arizona State.
Bryce Rudnick and Andrew Hobner are in studio today to give us some insight into the win against UMass and what we can expect from the team. Take it away, guys.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I am Andrew Hobner alongside Bryce Rudnick, and this is CU Sports Mag Double Team. Rain getting you down? Well, that's too bad because we're here talking football. Starting with the recap of CU versus UMass. Bryce, you saw something that I didn't see. Personally, I was disappointed. A 41-38 win, it wasn't enough for me. What do you think about it?
I mean, I understand where you're coming from, Andrew. I can see how you could have some concerns with this game. It was a sloppy game, took a slow start. They played, lackadaisical, I'd say at times. But I think that there are some positives we can take away, some pretty big ones. First point being, down 11 in the third quarter, the team showed some fight, some spirit, something that Coach McIntyre has been trying to instill. And they showed that they're not just going to roll over and die in the dirt like they did against CSU. They put up a fight, they fought back, they got the lead back, a couple Nelson Spruce touchdowns, Christian Powell touchdown. And then, once they got that lead, I think the second important thing which we saw is how they managed to keep it. And they, the Minutemen were giving it all they could, trying to fight back, claw back in the game, and CU managed to hold them off and get the win. So, hey, win's a win.
So you mentioned the point about attitude, and that resonates a lot with me because as a freshman, I watched the Coach Embry attitude, and that was touchdown in the first quarter, it's over. It's done. You've lost. The game is literally, it's 70-0 by the fourth. You're never going to watch it again.
Oh, yeah.
What I saw during that game that made me so frustrated was there were phases where you could see that attitude kind of permeating through the team. The nice thing about it, though, is Coach Mac's philosophy that he's instilled over his 2 years here started to really show itself late in the game. Toward the fourth quarter, all of a sudden, CU showing fight, showing grit, not giving up, taking out a win, 41-38. And that's the kind of attitude they're going to need a whole lot of this weekend. A whole lot of. Because they're facing Arizona State, ranked number 16 in the AP poll, ranked number 14 in the coaches poll. To me, it's going to be a Herculean, if not impossible, effort to beat them. What do you think about the game, Rice?
Like you said, Arizona State's a tough team. They're one of the best in the country, as shown by their ranking. They've got a really explosive offense, which I think is the key matchup for CU is going to be holding that running game of Arizona State, limiting them with their pass rush, their rushing defense. Because as we've seen the first 2 games of the year, Arizona State can put it on the board. They can run it. They're averaging over 345 yards a game. Their starting running back, DJ Foster, is 3rd in the NCAA in rushing. They want him. They want to get him the ball, get him in space. So you can limit him, his touches, keep him from breaking a 20, 30, 40-yard run. Then, maybe we got a shot.
A pretty important piece that you just mentioned was how this was going to be a battle between Arizona State's offense against CU's defense. And the one thing that I love, is the fact that we don't have to worry about CU's offense anymore. For too long, we've had to worry about CU's offense. Are they going to score? Are they going to put points on the board? Will we see a touchdown at all during the course of a game? And now we don't have to worry about it. Cephalufau has been great. Nelson Spruce is a leader. Christian Powell is coming into his own. So all that comes is the defense taking control. And this should be a fantastic game if CU can give all that effort throughout. There's going to be the construction updates at Folsom are going to be done. The South Park creators, Matt Stone and Trey Parker, unleashing something a little special for us. There's new beer gardens for those of you over the age of 21. And it should be a pretty fantastic game all the way around. I'm excited. What about you?
Oh, I can't wait. Remember to wear black.
Yeah, and what's your final score prediction for that game?
I think we better stay away from that.
I would have to venture and agree with that. That's all the time we have for CU Sports Mag Double Team today, tonight, whatever time it is. For Bryce Rednick, I am Andrew Hobner. Back to you fine people over at the desk.
You've heard the experts. When we return, hear what students have to say about the upcoming season.
And the Buffs have been busy adding some new upgrades to Folsom Field to get the students just a little more turns. Stay tuned to find out what they are.
We won 24 NCAA championships, sent 18 NASA astronauts into space, inspired 4 Nobel laureates, unlocked the genetic secrets of cancer in a place that averages over 300 days of sunshine a year, ranks as America's smartest and healthiest city, and is home to the mightiest mascot in college sports. If you didn't know what the University of Colorado is all about, now you do.
Before the break, you heard our experts' opinions about the 2014 football season. They made some good points, but what do CU fans think? SportsMag's very own Clarity Angle took to campus to see how students are feeling heading into conference play.
Hello, I'm Clarity from CU Sports Mag, and I'm here at the UMC getting ready to interview our fellow Buffs about this year's season.
Probably basketball season. Ever since Dinwiddie tore his ACL, see how the team can hold up.
Us winning a football game would be good. Yeah.
To be honest, I'm most excited that my husband loves football, and then I get 2 hours to watch chick flicks while he goes and watches football.
I'm really excited for basketball. I got the CU Sports Pass.
We have a bad record so far, but I mean, it's always a possibility to turn around.
I hope they do really well and we start winning more games.
I mean, with the new coach, I think that hopefully the only way we can go is up. I think that it's a young team and that we've got a lot of a room to grow.
Hopefully we'll get better, as the season continues. So I'll go with we will get better, positive.
Well, it looks like we've gotten some mixed reviews today, but that concludes this week's edition of Woman on the Street. I'm Clarity, CU Sports Mag. Back to you guys at the desk.
Well, hopefully some new additions to Folsom Field will help those pessimistic fans survive this CU football season. For the first time since 1995, beer will be flowing at Folsom Field. That's right, CU has added beer gardens to game day festivities. Hazel's will be sponsoring 2 drinking areas for students and fans over the age of 21. Both of these will be located on the west side of the stadium. This Saturday will also be the debut of 3 more seating areas. The Touchdown Club seats, Touchdown Lodge boxes, and Champions Club are all brand new additions, which the athletic department hopes will increase attendance.
Want to experience NBA basketball right here on campus? This fall, students will have the opportunity on Tuesday, October 21st. The Denver Nuggets will be playing the Portland Trail Blazers at 7 p.m. at Coors Event Center. The game will be a part of the Nuggets' 8-game preseason schedule, and the last time the Nuggets played in Boulder was 2007, also against the Trail Blazers. Nuggets and Buffs season ticket holders will get first priority to purchase tickets, with exact details coming later this month. Be sure to save the date and catch some pro ball ahead of the college season. Speaking of college basketball, for the first time in CU history, the men's basketball team will take part in ESPN's annual College Hoops Tip-Off Marathon. The Buffs will meet the Auburn Tigers on the court as part of 24 hours of consecutive coverage. Colorado hasn't played Auburn on the court in over 18 years, when the Buffs won 78-72 in overtime. The game will air on Monday, November 17th at 11 p.m. on ESPN2. That's right, Buffs fans, I said 11 p.m. CU head coach Tad Boyle is urging fans to come support the Buffs regardless of the late tip-off.
CU men's basketball has added transfer student Josh Fortune to the roster. The 6'5", 200-pound guard from Providence College brings big game from the Big East. Last season, Fortune averaged 8.4 points per game and shot 35% from three-point real estate. With his experience and talent, Fortune is a fortunate addition to the Buffs roster.
And what was the worst part of a whole summer without CU Sports Mag? 3 months without weekly Sports Mag trivia. Don't worry though, absence makes the heart grow fonder. And we have a trivia question so good that you will even be able to impress your weird uncle who knows everything. This week, we want to know, what year did ESPN broadcast its first CU football game? You can tweet your guesses to @CU Sports Mag and we'll get you the answer later on in the show. I bet you have a ton of questions about CU athletics that haven't been answered all summer.
But you don't need to worry anymore because SportsMag's very own Alec Moylan is in studio to answer your questions about all things CU athletics in this week's Buff Banter.
Welcome, Buff fans. This is Buff Banter, and I'm your host, Alec Moylan, and I'm here to answer your CU sports questions. Our first question comes from Cole Wilson, who asks, how well do you think highly touted recruit Dominique Collier can play or can replace the loss of Spencer Dinwiddie? Well, Cole, you never really know how well a high school recruit will play until you see him play at the college level. However, recruits these days are asked to make a fast transition into college or into the college game, especially recruits in the top 100 such as Collier. So, will he completely replace Spencer Dinwiddie? I doubt it. Spencer Dinwiddie, if not for his injury, would have been a first-round pick in the NBA draft. While I expect Collier to come in and be an impact player for the Buffs, it is highly unlikely that he can completely replace Dinwiddie. Collier, a smart pass-first point guard, will surely be a welcomed addition to the offense that struggled mightily last year. Our next question is from Ashley Lewis, who asks, do you think CU will finally be able to overcome Arizona this year in basketball? Well, I wish I could be optimistic about beating Arizona. I plainly just don't see that happening. Arizona lost two outstanding players in Aaron Gordon and Nick Johnson to the NBA last year. For most teams, that would be a year in transition. But for Arizona, it's more of a retooling or just adding on to what they already had. Arizona is the deepest and most talented roster in the Pac-12, not to mention the country. I really don't see a way we can stand a chance against Arizona with our current roster. But that's why we play the game. Who knows, Arizona might not glue together or might not play well as a team, and CU might surprise. Beating Arizona should be a goal for this season, but losing doesn't mean the season is a failure. Let's just wait and see. Our last question comes from Tristan Rojas, and he asks, other than basketball and football, what sport should Buff fans keep their eye on this year? A sport I think people should keep their eyes on is CU hockey. Our team has gotten many great recruits and hired a new coach in Jeff Nightenbach. Nightenbach played hockey at the Miami of Ohio and was in the Chicago Blackhawks farm system. Come on, what's better than some fast action hockey this winter? Well, that's all the time I have. Until next time, see you guys back at the desk.
Coming up after the break, CU soccer is back in action. Could the Buffs kick off the season on the right foot?
And the Colorado volleyball team is preparing to host some competition in Coors Event Center. Find out who when we return.
The future is open for business, so step right in and create something inspiring. Be motivated, be compelled, be excited, be united, to think deeper and see farther. On the field, in the lab, above the earth, beside great minds. Create something that doesn't exist and question what does. You can, you will lead, exceed at the University of Colorado.
Inside each of us, there's a spark to push, to challenge, to lead, and create ideas that change everything. Reimagine, reinvent, rewrite the way you see the world. Achieve the unthinkable, solve the unsolvable, and create the unimaginable. Down the court, in the lab, above the earth, beside great minds, you can, you will ignite, unleash, excel at the University of Colorado.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Good nutrition can lead to great things. Find out how a healthy lifestyle can help your child succeed.
CU soccer met the Kansas Jayhawks on the field last Friday.
The Buffs prepared all week for the match and we're looking for a W. All right, here we go. We'll start with OT. CU and Kansas tied, crossing to the box, controlled by Leona Salazar and buried in the back of the net. 6th goal of the season for the Colombian international. Let's rewind to the 80th minute. Bree Hooks, who slots it home for her 2nd of the year. And that goal is no doubt pumping up the CU fan base. Look at those guys that's dancing on the field. They are getting turned up. All right, the big story of the game, though, was Kate Sheely, who had 3 saves in the first half, including this diving save. That's just fabulous. That is just great. But unfortunately, Kansas got the better of CU with this loose ball in front of Sheely that is buried by Lewis Hucan. Kansas wins 2-1. Now let's take a look at that box score.
We've got Hooks with 1 goal, Huchin with 1, and Salzar with 1. Then we've got our own Sheely, who had 3 saves, and Stroud, who also had 3 saves.
The cross-country team is gearing up for their upcoming season. The annual cross-country time trial marks the beginning of a new year. It's a chance to see which athletes are prepared and which just aren't quite there yet. In the spirit of tradition, the number 8 women's team allowed redshirt freshman Annie Kelly to finish the race in first place. The former NCAA championship men's team followed suit, allowing redshirt freshman Adam Peterman to lead the pack through the finish line. Both teams finished admirably, which is a good sign for the season.
The women's volleyball team is hosting the Omni Invitational this Friday and Saturday at the Coors Event Center. Today at 7 p.m., the Buffs face the Idaho State Bengals. Saturday, they'll face the Robert Morris Eagles at noon and the Butler Bulldogs at 6. Last weekend, the Buffs won every single one of their games. The girls are hopeful about taking their record to 8-1. The women's golf team is swinging with confidence. The team tied for 3rd at the Ptarmigan Classic, hosted by CSU for its season opener. Junior Alexis Keating and sophomore Esther Lee led the team with top 10 finishes. Keating shot a total of 3 under for the tournament, and Lee scored even par. The Buffs compete in the Minnesota Invitational September 15th and 16th.
This summer, the University of Colorado men's hockey team hired Jeff Knightenbach to fill the coaching void left by Eric Ballard. Ballard left the university last spring to coach the Cheyenne Stampede of the Western States Hockey League. Knightenbach is a former Buff himself and helped the Denver Cutthroats of the Central Hockey League advance to the league championship this past season. Also joining the coaching staff is Nathan Davis, who played collegiately at Miami of Ohio and spent time in the Chicago Blackhawks farm system. The Buffs wrapped up tryouts this week and will announce their final roster early next week.
Coming up after the break, Ashley Kim is in studio to preview the upcoming week's athletic schedule in Rapid Fire.
And we have our new segment, Tweet of the Week. It rhymes and it's topical. We'll be right back.
About to run into trouble again.
Hey, Bobo, where's your video game? In here. Well, look at this. Uh-oh, it's my dad's. You want to hold it? What'll I do?
If you get my new comic activity book, More Adventures with Scruff, you'll find out what you can do about bullies and guns. And you'll see lots of games.
Cool.
For your free copy of my new comic activity book, just write Scruff McGruff, Chicago, Illinois, 60652, and help take a bite out of crime.
I want it.
You know trouble can start when the clock hits 3. When there's no place after school for kids to be. Nothing to do but hanging on city streets. When mom and dad are working to make ends meet. Now it's time to beat the street.
With after-school programs, city kids aren't left alone and vulnerable. They keep on learning between 3 and 6, but these programs need your support. Join with the Urban League to keep them going. Call now, because it's
time to beat the street.
The future is open for business, so step right in and create something inspiring. Be motivated, be compelled, be excited, be united, to think deeper and see farther. On the field, in the lab, above the earth, beside great minds. Create something that doesn't exist and question what does. You can, you will lead, exceed at the University of Colorado.
Inside each of us, there's a spark to push, to challenge, to lead, and create ideas that change everything. Reimagine, reinvent, rewrite the way you see the world. Achieve the unthinkable, solve the unsolvable, and create the unimaginable. Down the court, in the lab, above the earth, beside great minds, you can, you will ignite, unleash, excel at the University of Colorado.
Everyone's favorite Sports Mag segment is back. It's Rapid Fire. Ashley Kim is in studio today to tell you what to look forward to in the upcoming week.
Hey Buffs, I'm Ashley Kim and I'm here to deliver your Sports Mag Rapid Fire. First we have men's golf facing the University of Illinois fighting Illini today. Their key in this tournament is to climb the NCAA GCAA coaches poll. Women's soccer is playing right now versus Denver in the final match of the Colorado Cup. A live stream of the game is available on cubuffs.com. They will want to maintain last week's momentum in this game. This weekend, both the men's and women's volleyball team will be playing at the Omni Invitational. With alumni in the crowd, they will want to perform at their best. Don't forget to support the football team as they take on ASU tomorrow at 8 p.m. The key to winning this game for the Buffs will be to improve their run defense. See you at Folsom Field. Finally, women's golf is at the Minnesota Invitational on Monday. They'll want to focus on playing well on the road. Once again, I'm Ashley Kim, and that's all for this week's Rapid Fire. Back to you guys at the desk.
Social media has taken over Sports Mag. All right, not really, but it is kind of a big deal these days. So we thought it would be a good idea to highlight the best of CU social media. Introducing the Tweet of the Week. The very first tweet of the week goes to Colorado Buffaloes beat writer Kyle Ringo. Folsom Field sounds like the place to be Saturday night. Hashtag beer and at South Park and college football. I'm in. Hashtag CU Buffs, hashtag ASU football. Well, I know where Kyle will be. Hopefully the fans will join him for the Buffs and the Buffs will play for a sold-out crowd. We haven't seen that in a while.
All right, time's up. Phones down. It's time to reveal the answer to this week's trivia question.
In case you forgot, we asked, what year did ESPN broadcast its first